I'm Scarlett.
Sitting here in the quiet of my new apartment, looking out at the city lights, I can't help but reflect on how far I've come. It all seems like a distant dream now, but the scars are still there, a constant reminder of the storm that once raged through my life. I remember that fateful night when I was driving my taxi through the snow. The city was at a standstill and I was just trying to make it through another shift. Little did I know that this ride would change everything. I picked up a couple from a luxury apartment complex. As soon as I heard his voice, my heart skipped a beat. It was Ethan, my ex-husband, and beside him was Lily, the woman he had chosen over me. They settled in the back seat, chatting about some business deal. I kept my eyes on the road, but their words cut through me like a knife. They were discussing fraud, bribery, and corruption as if it were just another day at the office. I could feel my blood boiling as I listened to them plot their schemes. Then a horn blared, and I reacted a beat too late. The taxi swerved, and Lily shouted at me to watch the road. I quickly regained control, but the tension in the car was palpable. As Lily shifted in her seat, something fell from her purse and landed on the floor. I saw in the rear view mirror a small USB drive. After they got out, I retrieved the USB. I knew it was dangerous, but I couldn't just ignore it. That night, when I tried to open it, I was met with a password prompt. I realized that whatever was on this drive was important, and its owners had gone to great lengths to protect it. Before I could figure out what to do next, my car had a flat tire. I found a small auto repair shop nearby, and that's where I met Jake. He was a young man, efficient and calm. As he fixed my tire, I showed him the USB and asked if he knew anything about encrypted storage. He said he'd take a look, no guarantees. Over the next few days, I was on edge. Part of me hoped he wouldn't be able to crack it, but another part knew that I needed to expose the truth. When he finally called and said he'd gotten into part of it, I met him at a cafe. What I saw on his laptop was shocking. Contracts, payment records, and footage of illegal meetings. It was clear evidence of wrongdoing. But Jake was more than just a mechanic. I soon discovered that his father was Victor, a powerful figure in the construction industry. Victor was behind a project to tear down a public park for a private residential complex, and he was using bribes and influence to make it happen. Jake had left his father's world because he couldn't stand the corruption. As we watched the footage together, Jake had a difficult decision to make. Exposing the evidence would destroy his father's career and possibly send him to prison, but remaining silent meant being complicit. I told him I wouldn't push him, that it was his decision. Meanwhile, at the taxi company, things started to get suspicious. The owner, Mr. Harris, summoned me to his office. He showed me a video of Ethan and Lily in my taxi, and he knew about the USB. He demanded that I keep quiet and hand over a month's wages in exchange for his silence. I agreed, but I had a plan. 2 nights later, Ethan showed up at my apartment, demanding the USB. He was angry and desperate. I gave him a manipulated version of the USB, knowing that he'd find out it was useless eventually. But by then, I would be one step ahead. Ethan realized the data was compromised, and he and Lily started to panic. They were under pressure from all sides, and threats started to pour in. I knew I was in danger, so I went into hiding with Jake. We staged my death in a car accident. The news reported that a taxi driver had died in a single car crash during a winter storm. Ethan and Lily thought I was gone, and they started to make their escape plans. But 3 weeks later, Victor held a press conference. He admitted to his crimes, including bribery and bid rigging. The city was in an uproar. Ethan and Lily were arrested for fraud, conspiracy, and obstruction. I waited for a long time before I decided to come back. The city had moved on, and the danger had passed. I rented a small apartment near the lake and started to rebuild my life. Jake stood by me through it all. We got married in a simple ceremony. Victor, after his arrest and release on bond, asked to see Jake. They had a long, honest conversation. Victor acknowledged his mistakes and the damage he had caused. Not long after, I found out I was pregnant. This time, I was filled with hope instead of fear. Victor, as a gesture of accountability, bought the taxi company where I used to work and transferred it to my name. I took on the responsibility with determination. I changed the company's policies, making it more transparent and treating the drivers with respect. Life is different now. I've learned that justice doesn't always come with a big bang. Sometimes it unfolds quietly in the decisions we make and the actions we take. I've also learned that survival can turn into strength when we face the truth with clarity and dignity. Looking back, I often think about the times when silence protected me more than confrontation ever could. Those moments of patience and restraint were what allowed me to turn the tables and take control of my life. If my story can inspire anyone, I hope it's a reminder that our true strength often lies in the quiet choices we make. I'm no longer defined by the losses I've suffered. Instead, I'm defined by what I've built and the person I've become. And as I look forward to the future, I'm filled with a sense of peace and purpose.